Hello, Cardinals. We're going to talk about investigation 9.2 today, relative age of fossils. Our focus question is, how can scientists use rock strata and fossils to determine the age of rocks? Before we begin with 9.2, we want to look back at 9.1, and we want to discuss as a group which of these images represents a mold fossil and which represents a cast fossil. So looking at the Play-Doh with the plaster, which one of these represents a mold and which one represents a cast. And then also looking back at 9.1, number 8, we want to say, in your notebook, explain how scientists can use the placement of fossils in rock to determine their age. We're going to discuss this as a group also. Looking ahead at 9.2, our objectives are to create a model of Earth strata to demonstrate the law of superposition, and we're going to use rock strata to determine the relative age of fossils and organize Earth's 4.6 billion year history. In the previous lessons, you were introduced to fossils, and now we're going to talk about paleontologists, who are scientists that study fossils to understand Earth's history. And in this investigation, you're going to be determining the relative age of fossils by considering their placement in the rock strata. You're going to look at figure 9.5, where you have all these different layers with different fossils in them, and discuss the questions with your group and record your answers in your notebook. So we're going to be looking at which rock layer is probably the oldest, which one's the youngest, what can you use to help determine this. Those will be questions that you're going to answer in your notebook. You're going to obtain the fossil, you're going to look at the fossils that you excavated yesterday in investigation 9.1. And now you're going to use the fossil identification chart in your book to determine the relative age, the approximate age of each of the fossils. And you're going to write that down and create a table to organize that information in your science notebook. It should look something like this. You and your partner are going to be creating a model to demonstrate how fossils are positioned in Earth strata or rock layers, and putting thin layers, about 1 centimeter of gravel in the bottom. You're going to be working your way upward. And as you do this, you're going to be talking about what this represents and what is the newest and the oldest rock. You're going to use the table to determine which fossil should be the oldest and place that fossil in the strata. And then you're going to be pouring down sand. We have a couple different color sand. And then working your way up, next oldest or youngest, next youngest, all the way up, and adding fossils as you go. All right, you're going to be using a permanent marker to write down the ages of each layer outside your container. All right, and then you're going to be drawing a diagram of your rock strata and labeling each layer with an age and the fossils found in the strata. Unlike your model, the rock strata also do not vary in color, so it's often difficult to figure out what the age of the fossil is. I want you to read Building Your Knowledge, The Age of Planets, Rock Dating, and answer the questions in your notebook. So finally, your to-do list. We have 10 steps today, 1 through 10, and you're going to make sure you're reading the age of planets, rock dating, and then update your vocabulary when you're all done. Prep 9.3 if you get some time, and have a great day, Cardinals.